Have you ever wondered how you can make your drop-down lists in Microsoft Excel dynamic? Hold on, let me show you. What I want to show you today is how to create a dynamic drop-down list in Microsoft Excel. For example, if you look at the screen, you will see I have a list of different regions. They do repeat because it's a database. And then we create a drop-down list where it will search for the unique names in that list and create the drop-down for you. So this list is now a dynamic list. It's not just a list or a pre-programmed list of content. It will adjust as the list in the database changes. So let me show you how we do all of this in Microsoft Excel. If you look at our screen, I'm going to show you two examples. Let's start with the older version of it. And this you will use most probably when you do not have Microsoft Office 365 or an older version of Excel. So let me show you how it works first of all. So I have a list of regions from 1 to 6 and I want to use them in a drop-down list. You will see that I have regions 1 to 6 in the drop-down list. If I do add another region, for example, region number 7, and enter data into the list, if I use this drop down, you will see it now automatically also includes region number 7. So how is it possible for Excel to generate this dynamic list? Let's go back to the raw data. So what we have here is just the original list of 1, 2, 3, and 4 regions. And what I want to show you now is how to create a basic dynamic list from within this database. So first of all, you will have a list of unique region names, for example, 1, 2, 3 to 4. I would want to use them in a dynamic drop-down list. So when I select the list in this specific cell, it will show me 1, 2, 3, 4. If I add 5 later on, I would like it to include region number 5. The first thing I would do is I will click inside my database and convert this to a table. So I will go insert, I will go table. It selects the range for me and I confirm that yes, I have table headers. What I need to do now is I need to create a drop-down list using this specific column in the table, and then also to make it dynamic. Although the table will automatically grow or expand as I add a new region, this will not automatically happen in the drop-down list. And for that, I will need to use the indirect formula in Excel. So let's first look at the table and see what the table is called, or what is the name of the table. I click inside the table, I go to my table design button, and on the left hand side it says table 3. Let's stay with table 3 for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click inside the cell where I want to create the drop down list. I'm going to go data, I'm going to go data validation, and I'm going to select a list. What I now need to do is I need to use the indirect formula together with the table name together with the column that I'm using. So how I do this is I say it is indirect bracket, and then in inverted commas I will specify the table name and the column name. So I will say this is, in inverted commas, The table name is table number 3. And then in square brackets, the name of the column. Square bracket, and we're using the regions column. And I close the square brackets, close the inverted commas, and close my bracket. So what I've done is I've used the indirect formula. I have then specified in inverted commas the table name, and in square brackets the column name. Let's enter and see if it works. I press my OK button, and there I have region 1, 2, 3 to 5. If I then click inside and I enter region number 6 and a value, the table will extend or expand automatically. How do I know that? In this little corner here, you will see a blue little arrow, and that indicates to us that the table has grown or expanded. If I click in this list now, because of the indirect formula, I will now have the new region name. Now this is a great tool to use if you have an older version of Microsoft Excel. What I want to show you next is when you use the newer version of Office 365 and you combine the unique formula together with the sort formula to create this dynamic list for you within Microsoft Excel. So if I go back to my screen and I go to the following sheet, let's first show this to you. What happens here is, and where this example is different from the previous, is that I now have a list of regions, but the regions actually, there are more versions of the same region. So you'll have region 1, and later on you'll have another region 1, or let's say region 2 and another region 2. So they are duplicated, and what I want to happen is for Excel to first find the unique names out of this list and sort them for me and use that unique list as my dynamic drop down list. So let's see if I click in this little box, I drop down, you can see I have the unique region names and they are in alphabetical order. If I add a new region, let's say we add region number 6 and a value. Once again, I'm using a table. The table grows or expands. If I click in this little drop down list, I will now have region 6 at the bottom as well. So let's see how we do create this within Microsoft Excel. So let's go back to the raw data. And what you will find here is a list of regions. They do repeat, and we need to tell Excel to use a unique list and sort it alphabetically and use that as my dynamic array or my dynamic drop-down list. As with the previous example, I will first change this data or convert it into a table. So what I do is I click inside the data, I go insert, I go table, it selects the data, I confirm that I have headers and I OK. We can just check the table name. I click inside, I go to table design, and now it's called table 4. So let's work with table 4. First of all, I'm going to use the unique formula to generate for me the unique names in the list. So I'm going to go equal unique bracket. I'm going to select that column header of the actual table. So I click there and I close the bracket. You will see it inserts the table name and the column name. I enter, and there you have a unique list. Now, by chance, this is already in alphabetical order. Maybe I would like to add the sort formula to the formula. So I click in the top one. I will go to my formula, and at the front, I will just add sort, open bracket, and close bracket at the end, and it will now automatically sort the data for me. What is happening here is Excel is using something called dynamic arrays. I didn't have to copy the formula to the next cell. It automatically expanded the formula. Now this is only available in your Office 365 and newer versions of Excel. In previous versions you will not have this functionality. So let's see if this is true. Let's say we replace that first value in the table with region number 6 or 5, and let's make this one region number 1, and just use a unique formula. What I want to show you is once again breaking it down to the first formula, unique. Select the column out of the table, close the bracket, and you will see that it is not in an alphabetic order. And for that reason, I will click in the top one, go to my formula, and combine that with the sort formula and enter. And now it finds the unique region values as well as sorts it for us. So what I've done here is I've just repeated the steps I've done in this previous example. I'm going to delete this column. That was just for an example. And what I need to do now is I need to tell Excel to use this unique dynamic array in my drop down. So I click in the cell where I want to create the formula. I go to data, I go data validation. I once again specify list. And all I need to do now is I click in the source box. I click the first cell of that dynamic array, and at the back I put the hashtag and I enter. And now Excel will use that dynamic array here on the right hand side, which you can hide if you don't want your users to see it, and then use it in the drop down. So if I add a new region on the left hand side, let's say we add region number 5 or 6, that's a new one. You will see automatically this dynamic array now includes 6, and now my drop down list will also include number 6. So both methods are a little bit advanced than just selecting a range from your screen. With the one I used the older version where I used the indirect formula. The negative side of that method is that the list can only have one region name originally. After that, I then decided to use the more dynamic version where I used the Office 365 unique and sort values functions to create for me my drop down list. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please click the subscribe button at the bottom and the like button, and please share this with friends and colleagues.